I want to buy a fixer-upper and save a little bit of money. Well, I'm sure you've thought about that. So let's get into the stark reality and find out, do you really want a fixer-upper? Hey, let me tell you this. I've heard that at least 3 times a day and 7 times on Sunday. So let's talk about buying a fixer-upper here in the Las Vegas area and what that entails, and see if you really want to look into that possibility of buying a fixer-upper. So go ahead, buckle up, and we're going to talk about that and just spend a few minutes and see if you really want to get that fixer-upper. So, all the time I hear people going, you know what? I want a house, but, I've been thinking about a nice fixer-upper. Go ahead and save myself a little money. And you know what? That is a great idea because that's what every home flipper does. They fix it up and sell it to you at an inflated price. And that's how they make money. So you're thinking, well, I can do the same thing. Well, let's look at some of the things that they have to go through and you would have to go through to save that money also. So number one, this isn't a countdown list. Number one, the most important thing, you have got to find the deal. Everybody comes to a real estate agent and they go, find me that deal. Well, you are competing against every investor out there. I'm not saying that it can't happen. It can happen. But remember, every investor is out there looking for that deal. That is their job every day, is to find a deal. So the investor versus you. Being honest. So a deal is out there for you. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work. And here's the thing I've seen from people, and they do the same thing. Well, I'll work with the agent who finds me the deal. Okay, great. So let me tell you a little story. Imagine you go to a bunch of bakers and you go, okay, my daughter is having her 16th birthday. I want the best cake ever for her. So I want all of you bakers to bake the best cake, and I'm going to pick the best cake from all of you. Do you think the bakers are going to do that for your daughter's sweet 16? You think all the realtors are going to run around trying to find a deal for you? It's called Truth Bomb. No. They're not going to beat the bushes looking for a deal for you to fix up so you can save a whole bunch of money. I'm just being truthful with you. They'll say that hoping that you're going to flip into, not a flip, but a regular house. It's called a truth bomb. And, when you call them out, you're going like, I want to save a whole bunch of money. I'm willing to fix up the house. They know a lot of times you're not, because most people aren't that handy. Then when you go and you go to these general contractors, you find out they're exorbitant markups. And you're like, oh, it's going to cost me that much to get my house fixed up. So unless you are a very, very handy person, okay, it's called truth. Now, if you're a handy person, oh yeah, there's some deals out there to be had. You can find them. If you're going to have to go use a general contractor, not so a lot of times. Every once in a while you run across some stuff. There are places where you can find some bargains. I'm going to tell you the first one, the courthouse steps. They call it the courthouse steps. It's down on 4th Avenue here in Las Vegas. This is where the banks, they do the auction. And here's how the auction works. Every time somebody comes to me and they go, oh, I want to save a bunch of money, I tell them about the courthouse steps. And this is where the investors find the real deals. Then they get frightened away. The courthouse steps is cash. This is how it works. It's an auction. You show up with a cashier's check. So you show up with the amount you are willing to spend. If that's $250,000, you get a cashier's check for $250,000, and you bid against the other investors. If the bank gets what they want out of the deal, the gavel goes down to you. If they don't, they just take the house back and they'll give it to their asset manager. Now, let's say you got the deal and it was for $225,000. You give them the $250,000 cashier's check, and a day or two later they give you a check for the difference. Well, what about that house? Guess what? You get to buy it sight unseen. Now, a list comes out the day prior, and you don't get to go in the house. What most of the investors do is they have little runners, and they go around and they look at the houses. They don't get to go in. Now, if the house is vacant, if you're lucky, a lot of times they have tenants. Maybe they're like looking in the windows. They try to figure out, what kind of condition it's in, and figure out what it's going to take to get the house fixed up, and what kind of return they can have. They're looking around the neighborhood, and so they kind of have a clue. So you're going up against guys who are running around. They've already figured the amount of material they've got to put into it. And I know some guys who go down to the courthouse and they do this, and some of them make some pretty darn good money doing it. But, every once in a while you may, get that unicorn, get that house, That's one way. The next way is probate. When someone passes and they have a house in the mix there. Another one, you got investors going after that. Also real estate agents going after it. A lot of times those are going to get listed on the MLS. They're going to go for close to retail price, market price, because they're going to go into probate court. And the court's job is to sell them and to protect the assets of the estate. So they're not going to sell them for a super discount to you. Sometimes there are discounts if, there's no other bidders. The investors who are getting them, they do what's known as yellow letter campaigns. You can get into that. Again, this is investors. You can try that route if you want. Some guys, they what they call war drive. They go around and they look for like boarded up houses and do the research. I've had people contact me going like, hey, can you go around and I see these boarded up houses. Can you figure out who the owner is for me and do the research? Then you can find out they got 10 other realtors doing the same thing. Again, you're trying to play people against each other when they find out. Yeah. Okay, so now you got the house. What are you going to try to do? Okay, you're a normal person. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, here's your best deal. Sometimes people go for foreclosures. Again, against investors. The foreclosures, investors go after them. Best ones are the HUD foreclosures, also known as HUD homes. These are ones where the foreclosures that the government owns. Now, investors will go after them, but the government does a nice thing, is they start the bids off to regular folks first to see if they can sell it, and then they'll open it up to investors. You can go for the HUD homes first, and that could be a possibility for you. And what's really cool, look for a home that's messed up in a nice neighborhood. Now that's where your bargain comes. You see, HUD homes, they're owned by FHA. Those are FHA loans from Fannie Mae. When you get a HUD home, you can get an FHA loan on it. And when they're all messed up, you can get what's known as a 203K loan. Okay, make sure you're dealing with a lender who can do 203K loans. The 203K loan allows you to fix up the house and roll the cost of fixing it up into the loan. There are actually two types of 203K loans. Again, deal with a lender who knows how to do this. There's a 203K 203K Streamline, a regular 203K. With the 203K Streamline, you can take up to $35,000. See, this is what's really cool. And you don't have to use a general contractor. So anything that does not require structural work or require a general contractor is kind of like self-help. Anything that can be done by Lowe's, like let's say the kitchen's messed up, like you can go to Lowe's and they can do redo the kitchen or the bathrooms, the stuff that Lowe's can do, or put in like new appliances that can be done for that $35,000. You can do it and roll it into the loan. So that house that's all messed up, that may need paint, carpet, flooring, wall repairs, new appliances, maybe the toilets are missing, I don't know. Let's say you can get that all done for $35,000. Guess what? Maybe you got the house for $200,000, put $35,000 into it, roll it into the loan. You may have yourself a $300,000 house, a $350,000 house. Oh, now there's your bargain. So get yourself a lender and a realtor. See, this isn't just a Las Vegas thing. This is a United States thing here now. Get yourself into somebody who knows how to get into the HUD homes, because you have to be with a realtor whose broker is certified with HUD, or at least is allowed to do HUD homes. It's the broker, not the real estate agent. But as long as the real estate agent's with the broker, they can do this. You can put them bids in on HUD homes. That's where the bargain is. Or you can go, through all these other things. But there are some bargains out there. Remember, you're going up against investors who want to make their money. That's how they feed their kids. And trust me, they don't want skinny kids. So hope these tips helped you out. Some quick ways, especially those of you who are looking for bargains, because everybody's looking for a bargain. If you were to ask somebody who's buying a house, the first thing they say is, I'm looking for a bargain. You're not the only one. Everybody's looking for a bargain. You're not unique. If a bargain exists, there's 500 other people who are rushing to you. And I've said this once, and I've said it 100 times. If something looks like a bargain, and you think you're the only one who knows, you're not. I remember one time somebody calls me up about a house, and it was like really low price. And I look at it, it's like, well, the price on this doesn't make any sense. It's way too low. And she's just excited. She's just talking and talking about how much of a bargain it is. And I'm like, the price is too low. I know the agent here. I can give her a call, but the price is just way too low. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, and she just keeps, oh, I'm going to get in this house. This goes so lovely. It's got this lovely pool and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. And I give her a call, and I'm not going to give the last name. The agent's name's Alicia. And she's like, Eric, you know me. The price of this house is too low. I priced it that way to get multiple bidders on the house to drive it up. I'm like, yeah, I figured that. I told this person that. She's like, yeah. So I'm like, how many offers you have on the house? She's like, 80. The house is already like 100,000. The offers had already been bid up to over $100,000 over what she had in the MLS. If you think there's a bargain out there, everyone knows about it. If you think you found a secret, you haven't. So those are my words for the week. Dropping some truth bombs, even if you don't want to hear them. If you like or maybe not like what you're hearing, click that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, because the YouTube algorithm, that's the way they show the videos. And now, that's what I'm saying, See you guys.